I want to talk about VeChain's 2026 roadmap because they recently made a post about that. Now, while a lot of people out there are still concerned about what's going on with VET, which is the primary native token of VeChain, I'll talk about that later. But personally, for me, I'm not too focused on that as of right now, even though nothing I say is financial advice, because if we take a look at the 2026 roadmap when it comes to VeChain, if some project out there is still planning for things to do in this year, a time when the market isn't doing the best, I see in some cases no reason for me to just give up on it because at least they're still planning for things to happen. Keep in mind, when it comes to VeChain, in their 2026 roadmap, they mention a lot of aspects regarding AI, which I think, if anything, showcases the kind of evolution of something like VeChain. Because when I first believed in VeChain, I didn't think about AI when it comes to it. I was thinking, oh wow, it's a project that's primarily focused on supply chain management. But naturally, in their 2026 roadmap, we see kind of this evolution when it comes to VeChain where they do care about something like AI, clearly, because they mention it quite a lot. And I think it's just awesome overall. I like it when a project kind of pivots along with the market sentiment. Keep in mind, in their 2026 roadmap, they mention a lot of random stuff, which is just really boring in my opinion. But the basic gist of it is that they mention a lot of AI. And when I see that, I'm a fan personally with what I'm seeing again when it comes to that. Because let's take this into consideration. What is a project out there that kind of really became pretty popular within the AI space, even though initially it wasn't really known for that? Let's take a look at Near, more specifically, the Near protocol. Near actually makes up a pretty good amount of Grayscale's AI fund, by the way. And Near, it just kind of really became this project that's focused on AI in terms of a perception type of sense. It wasn't like it's been that way for a long time. That recently became a narrative when it comes to Near not that long ago. So when it comes to VeChain, could it very well become the next hypothetical Near, where eventually moving forward it's really recognized for its aspects regarding AI? Who knows? But at least they have a lot of things planned for 2026. So I do like that when it comes to VeChain. And again, I think Near is a great showcase of a project that pivoted along with the market sentiment. They realized where the market sentiments were seemingly heading and they made a shift in accordance with that. So I do like seeing that when it comes to Near. It's a great example of a project pivoting and not being stuck basically. And VeChain with their 2026 roadmap gives me Near protocol vibes, if that makes sense. But besides that point though, people like to tell me that, well, they're planning things in 2026, but who cares? Well, I care because VeChain has a track record of actually doing the things that they usually set out to do. It's like, for instance, take a look at the recent Hayabusa upgrade. So it's not like they're not improving. I mean, they're still doing things. And also, furthermore, the way I view it is that VeChain, remember very early on when people were thinking about, oh, VeChain, they're not really trying to do anything. But then we saw the UFC partnership. We saw what VeChain did as well in regard to Power Slap. So in the grand scheme of things, they have a track record of actually trying to do things. And also, let's not forget about VeChain's impressive partnerships. I mean, throughout the years, historically, I've seen VeChain have a partnership with PricewaterhouseCoopers, or should I say PwC. Take a look at Deloitte, for instance. They're two out of the big four accounting firms, right? Deloitte and as well as PwC. Take a look at VeChain's partnership with BMW, H&M, and many others. So I can't really say I'm so disappointed with VeChain so far in terms of what they've achieved fundamentally. Now, in terms of the charts, of course, it's having a pullback, generally speaking, but a lot of projects are also not doing the best. But also, the way you take a look at it is, at least when it comes to VET, it's actually been up around 6% in the past 7 days, which I get it is really just a drop in the ocean, people like to say, especially comparatively speaking to where it was last year. But I think, if anything, what I've seen when it comes to VET last year indicates to me that I really don't need an altcoin season to be happy anymore. Because, for instance, I just want to explain this in a way that doesn't seem counterintuitive. Like, okay, if we take a look at in December of 2024, the market cap was around 5 billion. As of right now, the market cap when it comes to VET is around 600 million. So we already know that we're over 8 times lower than that. Now, the thing is, because VET had such a major pullback, it's to the kind of point where if it could just go back to around a 5 billion market cap, I already treat it like an altcoin season actually, even though it wouldn't be because I don't think it was an altcoin season back then, but I'm just saying I would already treat it as being something like that just because we're again over 8 times lower than that. I mean, that can't really be said when it comes to the case of Bitcoin or Ethereum. They're not over 8 times lower than where they were back in December of 2024. That's just my perspective. Now, had let's say VET held up a little bit better, let's say it held up at around like a 2 billion market cap or around a 3 billion market cap or whatever, something like that. If it could just go back to around 5 billion, then it's a little bit boring in that sense. Like, let's say if it goes from around a 3 billion market cap to around 5 billion, okay, it's a little bit boring. But because the market cap as of right now is around 600 million, if it goes back to around a 5 billion market cap, I see no reason for me to complain. I already treat it like a altcoin season, actually, personally, even though it wouldn't be again, but I would already treat it in that way. Just because, again, it's so low as of right now, comparatively speaking to that point. Now, granted, people also like to tell me that when it comes to VET, it's kind of unimportant because they say that it's not really so relevant within this space. Well, let's take a look at how it's currently ranked 72nd in the world in terms of market cap. And also, if we take a look at the reliability when it comes to the VeChain Thor blockchain, that as of late has been kind of a big topic because as of late, a lot of people have been talking about security when it comes to this blockchain space. And I think what better way to kind of indicate that in some cases, other than showcasing something that has pretty much zero downtime for a good amount of years. What do I mean by this? Let's take a look at the VeChain Thor blockchain. Ever since 2018, allegedly zero network outages. Pretty impressive. So I think in terms of security right there, that may indicate something. I think at least to a certain extent, because or not, how would that even be a possibility? Furthermore, if I take a look at VeChain, what I like about it is that the market that it's primarily focused on, initially at least when I first believed in it, in regard to supply chain management, it is not a market that goes in and out of style like that. It's not a market niche that kind of goes in and out according to the cool factor or a trend or a certain hype. It's not really like that because it's more so of an evergreen type of market that it's focused on. That's not really dependent on cool factor or attention in terms of a hype sort of way. It's not really based off that because, again, supply chain management, it's a more boring market, some people like to say, but that's kind of the point, right? If it's focused on a market that's trendy or kind of cool for the time being, what happens if it no longer becomes a trend? What happens if it no longer becomes trendy? Sometimes the project is a little bit cooked. But when it comes to VeChain, because it's more so focused on a kind of a boring sort of market, some people, again, like to tell me that, but because of that, it's just a little bit more evergreen, in my opinion. It's just something that could hypothetically stand the test of time a little bit better than some other market niches out there because years and years before VeChain even existed, supply chain management was already something people cared about. People still care about it as of right now, and I'm pretty sure a lot of businesses will still care about it even decades moving forward, even hundreds of years. It's like, for instance, you know those AAA batteries or those AA batteries? They've been around for quite a while, but I'm pretty sure decades later they're still probably going to be around. Something that's a little bit more evergreen in terms of what it's focused on, which is, again, supply chain management, primarily speaking. But of course, in their 2026 roadmap, they do mention a lot of aspects in regard to AI. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that when it comes to VeChain. We'll wait and see what happens. But I just want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Mali the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.